Good afternoon, everyone. It's James Carpenter with Country Living. In yesterday's video, we talked about extraterrestrials and ascension. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about ascension. Some of you are probably familiar with that term. Some of you probably have no clue. But what's meant by ascension is we're moving from the 3D world to the 5D world. And in order to do that, the consciousness of the whole planet has to be very positive. And by that I mean the easiest way to be as positive as you can possibly be is to love everything. Because if you love everything, there's no negative about it. So that's very important, first of all. And just, you may be on your journey, or if you're not on your journey, start with love. Love everyone. Don't talk about people. Don't gossip. Don't do all that stuff. Just live in the present time. Like right now, I'm in present time speaking with you. To assist us with the ascension process, once the consciousness comes up, and it's really close right now, the Galactic Federation we talked about yesterday, they have been taking alien species, they've been taking volunteers to incarnate in a human body. And obviously now you have an alien soul inside of a human body, and they're down here to assist the humans on the planet to make this transition. And there's actually quite a few of those. And then there's another term, it's called light worker. A light worker is someone who's very knowledgeable about what's going on in the world and about ascension. And we're basically there to assist also. So it's a process, and it's going to take all of us on the planet to make it happen. But once the ascension comes, yesterday we talked about the rapture. I think they're going to take all of us 5D people and put us on a different timeline. And what's meant by a different timeline, it is to be just like planet Earth, but in a different timeline. So, and you know, that's another topic by itself, timelines. I don't want to get into that right now. I want to stay focused. So go out, gather as much knowledge as you possibly can, and start loving everyone, because that's gonna make all the difference in the world. I watch a lot of YouTube videos myself, and I've seen creators talk about people leaving negative comments, and that kind of struck me like, okay, so if they're leaving negative comments, they're probably a negative person, and they've got a lot of growing to do. If they don't grow, obviously they're going to get left behind. But in the 5D world, we're going to have more abilities, because moving from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, a lot more of our DNA is going to be activated. And one of the benefits of 5D, communication will not be as I'm doing now, speaking words. It'll be telepathic. We'll be able to read each other's minds. And if you think about that logically, if you can read someone else's mind and they can read yours, are you going to say anything negative about them? Doubtful, because you're not even going to say it. You're going to think it, and they're going to hear it. So the 5D world, actually, you know, we're in 3D, we're going to 5D. There's 12 or 13 of these ascensions. I mean, there There are alien species that are in 13th, say the 12th or 13th dimension. They don't even use UFOs to fly around. They can transport themselves just by thinking it and where they want to be, and boom, they're there. A lot of people talk about orbs. They can appear in the form of an orb. I've probably caught some orbs out the corner of my eye every now and then. You know, a lot of times you'll see something out of the corner of your eye, and it's probably an apparition. It's somebody that's passed and they've come back to visit or something like that. Actually, I got a case yesterday. I've been doing a lot of research on cats lately because we have a cat. And when a cat just sits there and it looks like it's staring up at the ceiling, and maybe it's moving its head a little bit, but it just continues to stare, and then it might meow a few times, which means it's trying to communicate with you. But I thought to myself, the cat sees an apparition right now. So I said a prayer to God to get rid of it. And as soon as I did the prayer, the cat's head went down and went back to normal. Apparition gone. So if you have them in your house, you can tell them to leave. You might get one that's really evil and they won't leave, and you might have to have assistance from a pastor or preacher or someone of that nature. Now, there is so much that I can talk about, and I would just love it if people would start leaving comments, picking my brain a little bit. Maybe I can obviously answer your comment, but I can also make YouTube content from your suggestions. I did have one comment on a video yesterday, and the guy, he said he would really like to see me do more videos like this. So this could end up being my YouTube niche, and that is talking about the ascension, the extraterrestrials, the corruption on the planet, and different things like that. I've got a vast knowledge. I spend hours and hours and hours doing research. I guess you could consider me some kind of nerd, but actually it goes back to what I said in the other video or another video about being a Scorpio. Scorpios have a tendency to go down rabbit holes, and we have good intuition, and we can discern pretty quickly if something is false data or it just don't sound right. So that's an ability that I have, and I appreciate that ability. And I know that it's a controversy subject because YouTube, when I posted that video yesterday, they put a little disclaimer under it about reptilians. And they made it sound like that I'm a conspiracy theorist. If that's the label you want to give me that label. I'm also a survivalist. And what's meant by survivalist? A survivalist is someone who's prepared. Obviously, my channel is called Country Living. I grew up in the country, rural area. And when I first got out of the Army, I had to get an apartment. It was in town. I'll tell you what, it was the worst experience I ever had. I cannot live near other people. I gotta have my space, I gotta have my freedom, and I have that out here on this 6 acres in rural Union County. It's just the way I am. The survivalist thing, another term is prepper. I'm gonna call it a root cellar. It could be called a bunker. But basically, it's an underground room that you can store food in. And I've went out and I've spent probably thousands of dollars buying that freeze-dried 25-year food and a bunch of stuff that you can preserve and it'll stay preserved for years, like rice or beans. And I vacuum sealed all that. Now you're probably thinking, wow, this dude's overboard. Well, you know, think about it logically. If we were to have a catastrophic event, and let's just say that the electrical grid somehow got compromised and there was no power for weeks on end, guess what? The trucks and the grocery stores and all that, that's all going to dry up pretty quick. But I'll go down to the bunker and I'll have my food. I've also got 2 water sources. I have a regular drilled well, and I have the old farm well, the one that was probably put in the 1850s. And I can, obviously I have a couple generators, so I can run water through that other well, but worst case scenario, I can go down to that hand dug well and get water. So another part of survival is having you know, that kind of stuff, because you got to protect your facility. You have to stand your ground, because when people get hungry and their kids are starving, they get desperate. And I know they're going to come, the ones that know me, hey, can you just give me some food? All the food I give away is less food that I'm going to have, which means I'm not going to be able to go months on end with the food I have. It'll just go away rather quickly if you start passing it out. The thought pattern I have is, you had a chance to store food when things were good. Because you didn't do it, now you want to come back on me. Nope, not going to happen. And I hope that we never have a situation like that. But if you look at the way things are in the world today, we've got the war in Ukraine, we've got the Israelis at war with Iran, and I'm sure there's quite a few other wars going on, but this Ukraine deal, that could escalate into World War III. And personally, I don't think the United States is as safe as it was, let's say, back in World War II. It would be easy for them to fly over here or send shiploads, but we could have an invasion here. I surely hope not, but there's all kinds of possibilities. Even that Yellowstone thing, let's say that finally blows up, it's going to cause a dusty cloud that's going to cover the whole United States, and that's going to create a big problem. And then you always have the threat of an EMP, which is a nuclear explosion in the atmosphere, and it wipes out all that electricity we were talking about. So there's different things that can happen, so having survivalist skills come in handy. I've got a lot of books on that, and I vacuum sealed all those too until the time comes. I want to keep them as in good condition as possible. So to get back, light workers, star seeds, it's all going on right now. It's all around you. Have you ever ran into that person you thought was just too pleasant? That very well could have been a star seed, to be quite honest with you. And I've noticed at my age, the younger generation is a lot more sensitive than we were back in the 50s. It's a whole new world. We're getting ready to move on to the 5th dimension. I'd like each and every one of you to start thinking positive, love everybody, and learn more about the ascension process. I want to thank you for watching my videos. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next one.